All right, hey everybody. We are going to construct this eightfold pattern from Itimud ad-Daula in Agra, India. So let's get started. We're going to start by making a point A at 0, 0, a point B at 1, 0. So remember, you can use your point tool and then edit the coordinates, or you can just type them directly into the input. Let me show my labels so we can see what I'm doing here. There we go. So next, I'm going to grab my regular polygon tool, and I'm going to click A, then B, and I want 8 vertices because I'm going to build this thing in an octagon. I'm going to select that octagon and make its opacity 0 so that when I click inside it, I'm not actually grabbing the octagon. Underneath the perpendicular line tool, I'm going to grab my perpendicular bisector tool and put in a perpendicular bisector between A and B and between B and C. So that will allow me to find the center of my circle with my intersect tool. Next, I'm going to grab my circle with, oh no, I need to put in 2 more points. I need to put in a point here and here. Now I can grab my circle with center through point tool and put in a circle with center B that passes through J and K. So next I'm going to grab my parallel line tool and I'm going to put in a line parallel to my vertical through point B. So I'm going to click on point B and then I'm going to click on that vertical, and that allows me to find point L here. Then I'm going to put in line JL, and I'm going to put in a line parallel to JL through I. Then I'm going to use my intersect tool to find point M. I also could have used my perpendicular bisector tool to find that line, but anyway, there's more than one way to do things. And I'm also going to put in line MK. Then I want to put in a line parallel to MK through I. Again, I could use my perpendicular bisector tool for this if I wanted to. And I'm going to find some points here. So I want point N, point, let's put O here, P, Q, and R. And then I also want this point right here, S. And then I'm going to copy this circle to the center. So I'm going to grab my compass tool, select this circle, and then position it here. And then I want points along this circle. So let's see. I'm not sure what order I want them. Let's do T, U, V, W, Z, A1, B1, C1, so that I'm consistent with my tutorial PDF. And then I'm going to put in some lines. So I'm going to put in line TU. I'm going to put in line A1, B1. I'm going to put in line B1, C1, and C1, no, sorry, UV. I think that's all I need there. Let me zoom in a little bit for you. All right, I'm going to grab my parallel line tool again, and I'm going to put in a vertical line through point S. And then I'm going to put in line IB here. So lots of stuff intersecting right there. And then I want to find this point where lots of stuff intersects, D1. I also want this point of intersection, E1, this point of intersection, F1, and then I'm going to use my reflect about line tool to reflect these 3 points, E1, S, and F1 over this vertical. So I'm going to click, hold down Control, and reflect. And then I'm going to grab my polygon tool and I'm going to put in this polygon. And I'm almost got all the points that I need here. So I need reflect tool to reflect E1 over this line. I need this point here. I can intersect any of those lines that pass through there. And I'm going to use my polygon tool again to put in this guy. So now I've got pretty much everything I need to make up my octagon. So let's type in a sequence. So these are poly 2 and poly 3. So already I've deviated from my tutorial, but that's okay. So I'm going to type sequence, rotate, open curly bracket, poly 2, comma, poly 3, close bracket. Okay, so those are the things I want to rotate. I want to rotate by 2 pi I over 8 or pi I over 4 about point I, where little I varies from 0 to 7. And I'm going to hit enter. So already I've got a lot of information here. I want to reflect this sequence over ED, and then I need to fill in this square over here. So this pattern is made up of octagons and squares, so I'm missing the information that goes inside the square. So what I need is one of these shapes right here, but I'm not quite there yet. So first, what I'm going to do is I'm going to reflect this shape over this line to get it here, and then I'm going to reflect this shape over this line to get it here. So now this should be poly 2 double prime. I'm going to put in a line here, ED. Notice it passes through this point. And I want to find where that intersects here. And then I'm going to create a sequence of rotations of this little guy about that point P1. So this is going to be sequence, rotate, poly 2 double prime by 2 times pi times I over 4, or pi I over 2, about P underscore 1, where I varies from 0 to 3, close parentheses. All right, so I've got all that information. I'm going to use my parallel line tool to create a line, a vertical line through P1. And then I'm going to reflect this sequence over that line. And so now I have these 3 sequences here that I just want to rotate about my octagon. So I can see those 3 sequences are L1, M1 prime, and M1 underscore, M1 prime sub 1. I'm going to rename this as M2, just for sake of making it easier to rotate or to write my sequence. So I want a sequence of rotations of, what did I say, L1, M1 prime, and M2, close curly bracket, by 2 pi I over 4, or pi I over 2, about capital I, where I varies from 0 to 3, close parentheses. I'm going to hide L1, M2, and M1 prime. I'm going to hide my pentagons. I'm going to hide my points, hide my polygons, hide my conics, hide my lines. And there's our pattern. Don't forget to save your work.